So phase 2 is right around the corner, meaning that now is the perfect time to have a look at what items are going to gain in value with the release of phase 2 and start picking them now while they're cheap. So in today's video I'm going to talk through some of the items that I believe are going to be big sellers for phase 2 that you might be able to get your hands on cheap now, and also the reasons behind why I think they're going to do well, but also maybe a couple of reasons as to why you might want to be cautious when it comes to purchasing these items for yourself. Just before we dive into it though, the first thing I do want to say is that all of my preparation in regards to what these items are going to be able to do for me financially is based off of the cost of these items from my realm. It isn't going to be feasible for me to do it based off of the cost for everybody's realm, so you should always do your own valuations before you make any purchases from a guide such as mine or anybody else's, as they aren't going to know the specifics of your situation. One thing that we are going to know for sure, however, is that at the end of this video, should you decide to do so, down in the description below will be everything you need in order to be able to import these groups into TSM for yourself, with me having done the manual work for you. But with that out of the way, let's dive into it with the first set of items that we're going to talk about. So first up, we're going to have the fairly generic crafting reagents that are going to gain a bit of demand with the new phase. So there are going to be a lot of new best in slot crafting patterns introduced in phase 2 that are going to use some of the already existing materials in order to be able to craft these items for your character. That being said, this means that you are going to see a massive increase in the value due to the increase in demand of a lot of items that are already attainable and are currently available quite cheap, as there is not much of a demand for them, but people still want to craft their daily cooldown. Everything that you see on screen here is likely to see a very large increase, so it's going to be a pretty safe bet, this one, in terms of investing into these items, providing that you have the capital to do so. The only exception on this list that works a little bit differently is going to be the huge spotted felltail, which is just simply going to gain a value in the next phase, as it is an item that currently has practically no use. However, it's going to be used in the new Fisherman's Feast that is introduced in phase 2, so all of the cookers out there are going to want one. Everything in this group is going to be a pretty safe bet. The only thing is you just need to be able to make sure that you can currently attain it quite cheaply, as some of these items have already started spike in value on my realm, so do check before purchasing. That is a pretty good rule of thumb to go for with everything that you're going to see on this video, but specifically with these, as they are one of the more aware items that people are going to know in advance to be able to pick up. Next up, we've got a real simple one. It's just a singular item in the form of Bottled Nethergon Energy. It does have a sister item, which is going to act like the health potion to the mana potion we have here, but I do not expect that's going to see quite the same value increase as the mana potion, so I was reluctant to put it on here. But this mana potion essentially is available right now in the Netherstorm instances, and is often thrown away by people because it's only usable inside of those instances. However, when phase 2 arrives, it's also going to be usable in the Eye raid, meaning it's going to be a relatively cheap item that you can use as a mana potion while raiding. This is likely to see an increase in value because of the demand for the people in the early days while they are doing the new raid, but the real reason this is here is because of just how cheap a lot of you are going to be able to get your hands on it now, and as a result I thought it was worthy of mentioning on this list. Next up, we've got an old faithful, and that is going to be our primals. Now, primals never really do drop in value. However, they are going to be cheaper right now than they are going to be in the future, simply because of the fact that demand will increase with the patch. And primals, in all honesty, are something you can never really go wrong with, providing you can get them cheap enough. The reason they're going to increase in value with the patch, however, is because, as we alluded to before, there are going to be new best in slot crafts that are going to be available, as well as a few older ones that are going to see an increase in demand with the release of the raids, most notably in the form of protection potions. Almost all of these crafts are going to involve some form of primal, so there really isn't going to be a bad option here, but if you can look for ones that double up both in the use of a new crafted item and also in the use in a protection potion that is going to increase in value, then of course you're going to really increase your chances of being able to get some sales. And the final item that we're going to discuss today is going to be the Arcane Protection Potions, the Frost Protection Potions, and the Nature Protection Potions that I alluded to a minute ago are probably going to be increasing in demand. This is because the new raids all have fights which pertain to each one of these specific protection potions being required or certainly advantageous to have, and as a result everyone that's looking to make progress in these raids is going to want to have their raiders stocked up on these potions. Now, I have included here both the new TBC protection potion as well as the original vanilla protection potion that you will be able to get as well. The difference between the two is not particularly staggering, and as a result people might find themselves wanting to cheap out and purchase the original protection potions from Classic WoW, and these are also notably cheaper as well, due to the fact that a lot of people level some of them in order to be able to level their alchemy skill. This does mean that there's the potential that you can pick up really cheap protection potions right at this moment, with a view to flipping them for considerably more when the patch hits. This is going to mean that this is one of the groups in this list that has the highest potential in terms of your percentage profit, and as a result is the one that I will be focusing on the majoritarily myself. Now that's going to about wrap it up for today's video, guys. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Like I said at the start, there is a export of these groups down in the description below for you if you would like to import them yourself. Obviously, when it comes to what you wish to do in terms of your operations, then that is entirely up to you, so you may wish to sort those out for yourself, but they are all grouped for you down below, and I hope that you will be able to use this to make a tidy profit. But for now, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Later.